Anybody know what open theism is and process theology is? Let me give you a quick definition of process theology, and then out of process theology comes open theism. Open theism, 20 years ago, when I was going through seminary, going through college, that was the predominant liberal position. It's kind of died down. I'm surprised by that. I'm thankful for it. Today, the prominent thing is going to the apathetic, immutable God that's immobile. And I think it's a reactionary to process theology and open theism. You got this transcendence, immanence. And so these modern theologians, liberal theologians, begin to look at this hyper-simplicity, immobility of God. And they said, this is not the God of the Hebrew Bible. This is not the God of the New Testament. You have a very relatable God that's interacting. He's creating, he's sustaining, he's responding. And that is their framework. And so they go, okay, so they're taking the immanence of God and placing it above the transcendence and basically eliminating the transcendence of God, or the simplicity of God, and denying simplicity and immutability. And the relatability or the immanence of God becomes the paradigm in which they understand the scriptures. And if that's the case, process theology is, okay, process, remember, you got immobility and apathetic. That's a God who's just stuck. I mean, he doesn't relate. He doesn't even know. Aristotle's God doesn't even know us, because that would be a change from knowing to not knowing. It's like, hey, that's not a God we want to worship. It doesn't seem personal. That's a philosophical conjecture. That's the byproduct of the cosmological argument. Let's get rid of that God. And so we have a God who's relatable. And a God who's relatable is entirely like us. Then he's smarter, he's wiser, he's bigger, he's better, but he is not immobile. He's always moving. He's in development. He's in process. That's where process gets the word. Process is he's pure potentiality. He's waiting to see what you do, to learn what you're going to do, and he's the master chess player. He's going to win, but he's going to do it after he sees what you do, then he's going to do this, you do this, and he's going to be a master chess player, but he doesn't know the future, because how could he if he's going to be a relatable being? You got process theology. That's the big umbrella of liberal theologian. It comes from pagan philosophy that's rejecting classical philosophy. Open theists are Christians. Process theology is not necessarily those who identify as Christians, but they're trying to explain God through a different paradigm than classical theism. So open theist is taking that process theology and saying God is still in control, but he's not sovereign. There's no decrees or election. It's denying the sovereignty of God. That's the only way he can be responsive. That's the only way he can relate.